then rather stick to your objective. Our brave men, they all reached on top and they were firing upon the enemy. Enemy was firing from behind. Just then, a burst fire from a machine gun, many bullets, countless bullets, came and hit the 24-year-old braveheart right on his chest, who fell from the cliff. And when he fell from the cliff at night, our brave men went down to locate where their brave platoon commander would be and in what condition he would be. They couldn't find him. When they searched more, one soldier tripped over something and he felt there was something soft that he fell on, and he found the body. Well, I'll not say the dead body, I'll say he found his brave platoon commander who led from the front, अपनी जान की परवाह ना कर कर, अपनी जान की बाजी लगाकर, अपनी जान पे खेलकर वो दुश्मन के सामने कूद पड़े थे. वो he had fallen down, but he had not died. Can you imagine that? 3 bullets in his abdomen initially, a grenade splinter in his abdomen, a burst fire of machine gun on his chest, but yet he had not died. And falling from that height, why didn't he die? He didn't die because he had become a martyr, and martyrs never die. They become legends and live in our hearts and minds forever. Would you agree with me on that or not? Thereafter, the men were carrying the national flag with them in their rucksacks, which in the army terminology you call as a pithu jhola. तो उन्होंने राष्ट्रीय ध्वज निकाला पिट्ठू झोले में से. They wrapped the body of their 24-year-old brave platoon commander in the national flag. He wasn't wearing boots because when his feet were slipping from the snow, when he was climbing up, he had removed his boots and he had climbed up barefooted in that biting cold, knowing fully well if he survives this attack, he might get frostbites. And you know what happens in frostbite? You can even lose your limb. They wrapped the body of their brave platoon commander. They started climbing again, this time with uncertainty because the enemy, which had run away like cowards, might come back again. As they reached up, they planted the national flag on that peak, on that cliff which they had recaptured. They placed the body of their brave platoon commander right next to the national flag. And our brave men, our robust soldiers, our battle-hardy soldiers, our young brave men wept. They cried. They cried like little babies. They cried not because they had won a battle or a cliff. No, they were crying because they had lost their brave platoon commander, who very lovingly and affectionately and very fondly, they would refer to him as Nimbo Sahab. Why Nimbo Sahab? Because his name was Captain Kangaroozay. And Captain Kangaroozay is a very long name to pronounce, a Naga name. So Nimbo, because he came from the northeast, so they thought, let's call him Nimbo Sahab. And when the men cried, they saluted the national flag and they said, "Ye jeet aapki hai, Nimbo Sahab. Ye hill aapka hai. Aaj se ye hill Nimbo Hill कहलाएगा." Now that is the story of Nimbo Hill. If ever any of you go to Kargil to see where the Indian Army fought for your tomorrow, you will find a very prominent feature in Kargil known as Nimbo Hill. That is the story of Nimbo Hill. Thank you very much. But the story doesn't end over here. When Captain Kangaroozay's body was being brought from Kargil to Dimapur, that is where the airport is in Nagaland. From there it was being taken to Kohima, which is about 60 kilometers away in a hilly area. Now Nagaland has got different tribes. They are a very subdivided society. There's Ao, Angami, Chang, Chakizang, Sema, Lotha, Konyak. They're very, very different tribes, right? And these tribes were not united. Now slowly and gradually they are beginning to come together. But in the neighboring state, in Manipur, you know what's happening, what happened there, right? So Nagaland had a very, very different 1999 subdivided society. Now, even if you're an Ao Naga, for example, for your understanding, I'm saying you can be a Chunkli or you can be a Chankli. So which Ao are you? Are you from Alichin or Mokokchung district in Nagaland, all right? So it was so subdivided. But believe you me, 3 decades, 30 years of insurgency in Nagaland was forgotten on one single day when Captain Kangaroo's body was brought back to Nagaland as the state hero, as a national hero. And the men and the women and the children and the elders, they formed a human chain, starting from Dimapur airport, right till Captain Kangaroo's house in Kohima. A human chain. That time, of course, COVID wasn't there. So after washing the hands, after handling the hands, of course. Now, when his body was being brought up, the locals over there, they shouted out, Captain Kangaroo, Amar Rahe, Amar Rahe. Captain Kangaroo, Amar Rahe, Amar Rahe. Captain Kangaroo, Amar Rahe, Amar Rahe. And where he was buried in Nagaland, in Kohima. There's a cemetery over there. Next to it is a World War cemetery. Very famous World War cemetery in Kohima. On a tombstone, it's written over there in golden letters, when you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. On the tombstone, it's written over there, how can a man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? Captain Kangaroo kept the Chetwood credo, the oath he had taken upon commissioning, when he was awarded the President of India's commission from the Academy alive, which said, the safety, honor, welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last, always and every time. What a great leader. Here at Toastmasters, you're all here to create leaders, right? And what is leadership? You know, my dear friend Gaurav, where are you, Gaurav? Gaurav, Ayan, yes. No, it's okay. So what they told me last night when I was speaking to them, they said all the arrangements you see over here, because I had been corresponding with them, I had been speaking to them, right? They said, trust you me, you have only been speaking to us. It is the entire team of district Toastmasters 1, 2, 4, which has worked so hard to put up this event. So I credit you all. So leadership is when you give the credit to somebody else, right? To your team. But here imagine, your leader, your platoon commander is not there with you anymore. But the team says, ये जीत आपकी है नीमो साहब, ये हिल आपका है, आज से ये हिल नीमो हिल कहलाएगा. Talking about 1999, there was another senior of mine whose parents are very, very well known to me. Well, Captain Kangaroo was awarded the Mahavir Chakra posthumous, Marno Pran जिसे कहते हैं. So, talking about the senior of mine, again, by the name of Captain Vijayan Thapad, he was awarded a Veer Chakra. You all have heard of the story of Captain Vikram Batra, Paramveer Chakra. You have seen the movie Sher Shah, right? Bol Durga Mata Ki Jai, and how he goes for the attack, and how he saves his colleague of his. The senior of mine, Captain Vijayan Thapad, his father has been a war veteran. He got commissioned around 1962, around that time, when a war was on with China. He fought the 1965 war with Pakistan. He fought the 1971 war with Pakistan. Very brave family. He wrote a letter before going on his final assault on the enemy. 22-year-old boy. And what did he write in this letter? He wrote, "My loving Papa, Mummy, Granny and Bertie. By the time you get this letter, I would be observing you all from the skies, enjoying the hospitality of Apsaras. I have no regrets. In fact, if I were to be born again as a human, I would choose to join the army and serve my nation. Whichever organ needs to be taken should be taken and donated. Please donate some money to the orphanage and continue giving rupees 50 to Ruxana every month. And please go and meet Yogi Baba. I hope a picture of mine is kept in the Alpha Company Mandir next to Karni Mata. I hope the sacrifice of these brave men is remembered and inspires generations to come. Papa, you must be proud. Mama, so must you. Mama ji, please forgive me for everything wrong that I may have done. Anyhow, it's about time I go and join my clan of Dirty Dozen. My assault party has 12 chaps. Live life king size, yours, Robin, Jai Hind." And he goes for his final assault. And he was martyred. He never returned back. He was killed in action. You can imagine the plight of his parents, his mother, his brother, who's a professional golfer now, a very dear friend of mine, Bertie. So soldiers are brave, there's no doubt about that fact. But it's their families who are the bravest. Yes? I feel extremely proud to be from the elite family of a few good men. I think we all are serving the country in our own way. It's not that you have to join the army only agar desh seva karni hai, agar desh bhakti hai. You all are serving the country. Doctors, engineers, teachers, scientists, a municipality worker, everyone is doing their bit for their country. Well, shifting focus now from the army stories to let me share my favorite poem with you all, which has been my Bible of my life, and it has held me in very good stead all my life. Would like to hear that? Okay, it's by my favorite author. Well, my favorite poet rather, I would say. Rudyard Kipling. Yes? Which is a poem? If you guess it right. You guess it right, I'm very impressed. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for the doubting too. If you can dream, but not make dreams your master. If you can think, but not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. Or bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. Or watch the things you gave your life to broken. And stoop and build them up with one or tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose. And start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and snoo to serve your turn long after they're gone. And so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distant run, yours is the earth. And everything that's in it, And which is more, you will be a man, my son. Right? What wordings, yeah. It's held me in good stead all my life, every single word. And one more letter, which my father had sent through me by hand delivered to my headmaster of my school. I was in a boarding school, the school tie that I'm wearing. I take great pride in the school I went to, Lawrence School, Lovedale in Ooty. And my mentor, in fact, even she was my senior there, Sarah. So he sent this letter which I had hand-delivered to my headmaster, which actually, the original letter was written by Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher. I'm sure, sir, you've read this letter. And we have great educationalists over here. And I'm sure they've all read this letter. And what moving words. And trust me, if anyone follows what Abraham Lincoln desired for his son through his teacher, that would be the real education, not just obtaining BA, BSc, MPhil, PhD, qualifying NET. All that will not matter. What will matter is what you have learned on ground, your education. Because literacy is different and education is different, right? So Abraham Lincoln wrote, "My son, start school today. It is all going to be strange and new to him for a while, and I wish you would teach him gently." Even the baby will start school very soon. It's an adventure that might take him across continents. All adventures that probably include wars, tragedy, and sorrow. So, dear teacher, will you please take him by the hand and teach him things he will have to know. He will have to know that all men are not just, all men are not true. But teach him also that for every scoundrel, there is a hero. For every crooked politician, there is a dedicated leader. Teach him how to gracefully lose and to enjoy winning when he does win. Teach him there is no shame in tears. Teach him there can be glory in failure and despair in success. Teach him how to laugh when he's sad. Teach him the wonder of books, but also give him quiet time to ponder about the extreme mystery of birds in the sky, bees in the sun, and flowers on a green hill. Teach him to have faith in his own ideas, even if everyone tells him they're wrong. Try to give my son the strength not to follow the crowd when everyone else is doing it. Teach him to listen to everyone, but also to filter all that he hears on a screen of truth and take only the good that may come through. Let him have the courage to be impatient. Let him have the patience to be brave, because only then will he always have sublime faith in mankind, in God. This is the order, teacher, but see what best you can do. He is such a nice little boy, and he is my son. What wordings? I mean, imagine if anyone follows every word of this. You don't need your PhDs and double PhDs, right? Because being educated is better than being literate. Being a good citizen, a good responsible citizen of the country. Well, there are a lot of stories I want to share with you all. There's a whole lot of them. I don't know how much time we have. I've been given 45 minutes and I can go on for 45 hours. I actually can. Trust me. And I've done that. And thank you. That is actually my way of saying that because you are such a wonderful audience, not that because I am doing well or I'm a good speaker, but because you are such a wonderful audience. To such wonderful audience, I can go on speaking for endlessly. Okay, one common question a lot of people ask me, that why did you leave the army, right? Today also a lot of people ask me, and I said, it's there on YouTube. I've put it, the reason why I left the army by Major Mohommed Ali Shah. टेक आउट योर फोन्स, निकालो आप, आंसर मिल जाएगा। बड़ी लंबी कहानी है भैया। Well, to put in short, I say I didn't leave the army. I joined the army. So there's a bottle on the table. See, can you see that bottle? Or even on your table, it's half full it's half empty. What do you perceive it as? It's half full. Yes, there it is. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I joined the army, and I joined the Short Service Commission to serve with a clear mind, with a focused mind. I'll do only 5 years in the army, and then I will move out. Well, had I left before those 5 years of my contractual period, I would have left the army. But no, I finished to do what I had joined for. And I was very tempted to take a permanent commission. But I didn't join a permanent commission. I didn't go to IMA, the Indian Military Academy. I went to the OTA, Officers Training Academy, to do 5 years. So I stuck to my aim. But I would have missed out something great in life had I not joined the army. Perhaps I wouldn't have been here, standing and speaking to you all also. Right? So I don't know time kitna hai. If any of you have any questions for me, I would be very, very happy to answer them. Otherwise, I can just go on. या तो मैं आपको हिंदी में एक सुनाऊं कविता, मोटिवेशनल कविता है. ओके, शुक्रिया. इरशाद से मैं उर्दू में भी सुनाऊंगा इसके बाद, बाय द वे. सुनाऊंगा सच में. सो दिस इज हरिवंश बच्चन राय साहब के नाम से ये कविता मशहूर हो गई थी सोशल मीडिया पे, क्योंकि अमिताभ बच्चन साहब ने ये कविता कौन बनेगा करोड़पति के शो पे कही थी, हैं? लेकिन बाद में अमिताभ बच्चन साहब ने वो क्लैरिफाई किया, ट्वीट भी किया कि ये कविता दरअसल हरिवंश बच्चन राय साहब की नहीं है. ये कविता है सोहनलाल द्विवेदी की. वो क्या लिखते हैं, सुनिए. लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. एक नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों से 100 बार फिसलती है. मन का विश्वास, रगों में साहस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरना, गिरकर चढ़ना ना अखरता है. मेहनत उसकी आखिर बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, जा जाकर खाली हाथ लौट आता है. मिलते नहीं सहजे मोती गहरे पानी में, बढ़ता दुगना उत्साह इसी हैरानी में. मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. असफलता, ये गौर सुनिए साहब. असफलता एक चुनौती है, उसे स्वीकार करो. क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो. जब तक ना हो सफल नींद चैन को त्यागो तुम, संघर्ष का मैदान छोड़ मत भागो तुम. कुछ करे बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. बिल्कुल. एक कविता और, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सोल्जर्स इन द बिगिनिंग, राइट? ये किसने लिखी थी? माखनलाल चतुर्वेदी साहब ने लिखी थी ये कविता. कविता का नाम है पुष्प की अभिलाषा. ये देयर यू गॉट इट सर. एंड ये बहुत ही अच्छी कविता है देशभक्ति पे. कुछ चंद की लाइनें ये है. व्हाट डज द फ्लावर डिजायर टू बिकम, व्हाट डज इट वांट इट्स एस्पिरेशंस. तो एक पुष्प लिखता है, कहता है, चाह नहीं मैं सुर बाला के गहनों में गूंदा जाऊं, चाह नहीं प्रेमी माला में बिन प्यारी को ललचाऊं, चाह नहीं सम्राटों के शव पर हे हरि डाला जाऊं, चाह नहीं देवों के सिर पर चढ़ूं भाग्य पर इठलाऊं. मुझे तोड़ लेना वनमाली उस पथ पर, देना तुम फेंक मातृभूमि पर शीश चढ़ाने, जिस पथ जाएं वीर अनेक. ब्यूटिफुल वर्डिंग्स. थैंक यू, शुक्रिया. और जाते जाते मैं आपको उर्दू में भी सुनाऊंगा भाई. सुनेंगे? तो अंग्रेजी हो गई, हिंदी हो गई, उर्दू में सुनिए. तो उर्दू में थोड़ा खेस उर्दू हो जाए, सम रियल चेस्ट उर्दू, राइट? तब मजा आए. और अगर मजा नहीं आएगा, मतलब अगर आपको उसका तर्जुमा करना पड़ा तो मैं तर्जुमा भी कर लूंगा, कोई बात नहीं. Means I can do a translation of that as well. It's in very hi-fi Urdu. It was written by Faiz Ahmad Faiz, an Urdu poet, a very famous, renowned poet who was a lieutenant colonel in the British Indian Army. And after partition, he went across the border. In 1951, Liaquat Ali Khan, who was the first Prime Minister of Pakistan, was assassinated. And that is the time Lieutenant Colonel Faiz Ahmad Faiz had to leave Pakistan and go in exile. He went to Yugoslavia, he went to other countries. और जब वो जेल में थे, उन्होंने कई सारी कविताएं लिखी थी, like Bowl, and he wrote, मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत. अरे वाह, किसने फरमाया ये? अरे मैम, जय हिंद. Again, an army officer's wife, a gunner's wife. We are from the same regiment. Her husband from 108 medium regiment. And ma'am, thank you very much. He was part of the Kargil War as well. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. That's Mrs. Chaudhary. Her husband's Colonel Chaudhary. Thank you, ma'am. And तो कहाँ पे था मैं? हाँ, मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत मेरे महबूब ना मांग. सुनिए. So फैज अहमद फैज साहब लिखते हैं, मैंने समझा था कि तू है तो दरख्शां है हयात, तेरा गम है तो गम दहर का झगड़ा क्या है, तेरी सूरत से है आलम में बहारों को सबात, तेरी आंखों के सिवा दुनिया में रखा क्या है, तू जो मिल जाए तो तकदीर निगूं हो जाए, यूं ना था मैंने फ़कत चाहा था यूं हो जाए, और भी दुख हैं ज़माने में मोहब्बत के सिवा, राहतें और भी हैं वस्ल की राहत के सिवा. अनगिनत सदियों की तारीख बहिमाना तलस्म रेशमों अतलसों काम ख्वाब में बुनाए हुए, जा बजा बिकते हुए कूचो बाजार में जिस्म, खाक में लिथड़े हुए खून में निलाए हुए, जिस्म निकलते हुए अमराज के तरुणों से लौट जाती है, उधर को भी नज़र क्या कीजिए, और भी दुख हैं ज़माने में मोहब्बत के सिवा, राहतें और भी हैं वासिल की राहत के सिवा. मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत मेरे महबूब ना मांग. Now this was translated by the so-called Bollywood and made into romantic ghazals, and a lot of people adapted it. It was not meant for a mehboob. He's not referring to mehboob to his lover. See, the best thing of poetry is you can mold it as per how you want it. And I love poetry. I'm a writer. I write articles, now primarily on defense matters, because as a defense analyst, I speak on television. Is there all there, or my analysis are there on YouTube. आप फोन निकालिए, YouTube पे देखिए आप. Come on, what are you waiting for? चलिए. तो किसी को कोई सवाल है? I'll be more than happy to take on, because someone asked me कोई question answer session रखेंगे. I'll yeah, शौक से रखिए. I would be more than happy. Otherwise, if not, then I can just go on. And the video you saw just now, let me tell you this. The video you saw, the 28 seconds video when I was leading the parade, let me tell you, the story dates back of 1987. No, ma'am. I was much smaller, much younger to be an NCC cadet that time. My sister, my eldest sister, we were all in school. She was chosen as a student to participate in the contingent for students on 26 January 1987. But 23rd January 1987, my maternal grandfather, my Nana, passed away. So we had to go to our hometown for his burial, so my sister could not participate in that parade. So uska zakham abhi tak tha, that my sister could not do that parade. And 1987, thank you. So the chitti aayi hai, chai hai. Okay. So in 1987, an uncle of mine who's from the Armored Corps, again from the army, he led the Armored Corps contingent. Armored Corps is the tanks. You've seen those tanks, right? The outside Fort William, you would have seen the tank as well. So, वो ख्वाहिश मेरे ज़हन में तब से थी. And when I went to the academy for my training, I was super excellent in my physicals, in academics I was decent. But there was one particular test where I was failing repeatedly. First attempt, fail. Second attempt, fail. Third attempt, fail. And then there was a midterm break. All the cadets went home. I wasn't allowed to go home. I stayed back in academy. I was made to practice for that test. And when the academy reopened, all the cadets came back. Now, I had practiced so hard. Fourth attempt fail, fifth attempt fail, sixth attempt fail. And then there was a grace, mercy attempt, where I was marched up before the... Anyhow, in that as well, I failed. Now I was marched up before the commandant, who was the Major General. Major General Avasti ke सामने मैं सावधान में खड़ा हुआ हूँ. So he's reading my dossier. In French, you call it, a report card को कहते हैं dossier. He says, son, I have your dossier in front of me. You're doing so well. But there's one particular subject you are failing repeatedly. What is the matter, son? I want to understand what the problem is. I told him, sir, when I came for my training, my father told me, son, do well in academy, make us proud, but always remember to keep your performance consistent. That's why I was failing consistently in subject. He had a equally good laugh as this Chaudhary had. He said, ha ha, halawa chap yaar, pretty joker, isko pass karao, come on, front roll katao isko. And the whole night I was doing, I don't know, kitne 500 push-up mare honge shayad maine, jo Arnold Schwarzenegger bhi nahi kar paya tha. So I was doing those push-ups and I was made to pass. So when I came for my training, जोश तो इतना भरा हुआ था भैया कि जब मैं पाँव मारता था स्टैम्पिंग के लिए ना, I would really बहुत जोर से I would stamp my leg. As a result, I developed fractures in both my legs. And then I was written off by the doctor that you cannot do the parade. So he said, parade तो मैं करूँगा, कुछ भी हो, दुनिया की कोई ताकत रोक नहीं पाएगी मेरे को. And then yes, I did it on painkillers and of course willpower. Because if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win but think you cannot, there's almost a hint you want. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win the prize. For out in the world we find success begins with a person's will. It's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster men. But sooner or later, the person who wins is the one who thinks he can. So take care. God bless you all. Thank you very much for inviting me over here. It's been an honor to speak to you. Oh, I am so moved. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this. Thank you. I'm truly humbled. Thank you. Thank you very much. Means a lot to me. Jai Hind.
I think that was the response of the year. Thank you so much, Major General Mohommed Ali Shah. We'll now begin with the flag march. I would like to welcome World's Best Division Director for the program year 2021 to 2022, Rohan Nag, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vandita. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. How are you all doing? What a fantastic session that was, wasn't it? When we hear our hero, someone who has faced some of the most difficult challenges of life and has won. Someone who knows what it means to go the way, show the way, be the way, lead the way, create the way, make the way, whichever way you want, they know how to get the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, District 124 has had the privilege of having a wonderful group of leaders who have gone beyond their comfort zone, have gone beyond their call of duty to get the job done. And this particular session of Exuberance 2023 is all about honoring these wonderful and brilliant leaders. People who have not left a stone unturned to make each one of us proud. The Flag March is a formal event that Toastmasters International promotes to bridge gaps across borders. But as Toastmasters International is one family, I genuinely believe there are no borders. And in this particular session, as you can see, we have some wonderful flags. These flags will be carried by division directors, the extended leaders, our mentor as well, and of course, the trio. Now, Toastmasters, I want each and every one of you